One of the big activities for the last 2 weeks has been the upgrades to the ISS KU and communication systems. And there's been a team behind the scenes who's been working this for years. We have one of the leads of that team joining us here. This is Penny Roberts from the International Space Station Software and Avionics Group. Thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
So this has been a big endeavor. It's been the focus of the activities largely for the ground control team and as well for the on-orbit crew. But it started upwards of 7 years ago. Can you kind of tell us what was the genesis for all of this and how did it begin?
Well, we had to consider when the space shuttle retired how we would spare the vehicle. And so we went to build a bunch of spare boxes to make sure we had adequate resources to keep the space station going for the life of the program. And we reconsidered doing that for this particular system. Instead, we looked at upgrading it to provide enhanced capabilities to ensure we had the full utility of all the payloads and experiments and the international partners on board the space station to make sure we could get the data to the ground. And so we looked at upgrading this system instead of just building the same box to print.
And so for an endeavor like that, how did you guys even start facing the challenge, bringing the teams together and figuring out what was needed?
Well, the first thing you got to do is contact the users, find out what they need, look at the program and the future and what's coming and what data needs to get to the ground and where the data is going to be located at. And then you have to figure out how do you deploy it in such a way that you meet the needs as the program evolves and that you don't take down the system for too long while you're trying to upgrade it, because it's a challenge to upgrade a moving platform. And so we pulled together the right people, we talked through the issues and the needs, and we came up with a phased design and development approach that would get us to the end of the program.
And it sounds like you were saying that this started just as, a plan to enhance it, but really the timing worked out perfect because it seems like it's really been needed to have that additional bandwidth, at least for the science and experiment data.
Yeah, we're positive that the bandwidth will be filled and is already filled by the payloads that are needing to get data to the ground.
So these initial concepts started about 7 years ago, but you said it started in earnest about 4 years ago. Walk us through what happens over 4 years for something like this.
Well, we started by first looking at the robustness of the system and where the major bottlenecks for getting data to the ground were. And so to improve the robustness, we first actually deployed an antenna, a new antenna, to allow us a robustness outside where we had single point failures. We actually put a new boom outside, we put a new antenna on it, and a new transmitter receiver controller. And so that happened several years ago. And then we looked at the payload data path, and we upgraded one of our boxes that are on orbit to aggregate data into a single channel and get us multiple channels to the ground. And then now we're doing the big one, which is the integrated communications unit. And this one actually expands the bandwidth of data getting to the ground, as well as data coming up to the space station, and the ability to send video down using modern techniques. And so there was several enhancements that were part of this, and we just pulled a community of people together from across the country to make that happen, as well as worked with the Space Network folks to get the TDRS and utilize capabilities that we've never used in our communication satellite.
Speaking of the team, how many people are we talking about?
Well, we're trying to procure about 500 patches right now for the team, and I'm not sure that's going to be enough because we had members in California, members in Denver, members in White Sands. Marshall Space Flight Center has been a major player in this activity, as well as the folks here, even Maryland, Florida. So we've got a lot of people contributed to this project to make it a success.
So you all must be really, really happy. Everything seems to have been going really smoothly last week and this week, the installation of the new COM1 unit.
Yeah, everybody's been very happy. You're cautiously optimistic and you hope nothing will go wrong, and you encounter problems, but you find a team who can solve those problems so quickly. And we've been very much happy. We've been pulling in the entire team because some of the team has left many years ago. And so we've been letting them know what's going on, and they've been sharing in the deployment and enjoying the success that we've had the past 2 weeks.
So I think there's still some more steps next week. Can you kind of walk us through where we are at now and what is yet remaining for this?
Well, we've done most of the work. The crew's plugged in both of the boxes that were added to the Avionics Rack 3. All the cabling has been laid out for the past over the past year, we've been putting the cables on board. And so what's left to go is to activate the final box. And that just means to check out the performance of that box, make sure all of its functions are performing as we expected, and then we plan to stay on using that box versus the one we're using right this moment. And so that's next week on Thursday, and then it's just, enjoying the capability that we've provided to not only the U.S. lab, but the entire partnership that we have on the space station. So it enhances everybody's capabilities to get data to the ground.
Absolutely. So once it is complete, then I'm imagining there's some sort of, some remaining task and phase down. But after that, what's up for you after this?
Well, we made the box so we can upgrade it. And we can upgrade it a lot easier than what we've done this time. We've used state-of-the-art technology, taking ourselves from a tape deck recorder to solid-state recording capability. And one of the bigger things we did was we're using what's called field programmable gate arrays. And that allows us the capability to take encoding techniques that we're using today and change them tomorrow. So when the technology advances, we can advance with it. And so one of the first things we'd like to do, quite frankly, is upgrade it again through reprogramming it to get twice as much data to the ground. And we're looking at whether we can increase the bandwidth up as well. And then it's a card replaceable box, so we may be able to pull out a memory card and put in a new memory card and have increased capacity. And so it's a platform that allows us to grow for the future, which is useful for deep space missions where you can't fly a new box up there. You have to be able to reprogram it to fix it or reprogram it to get more capabilities, and that's what we have in this box.
Right, so it sounds like it's a learning platform for longer missions and deeper space missions.
Yes, definitely.
But no rest for the weary, already working on new and better enhancements.
Well, they pay us to work here, and that's what we do. and it's great to be able to do something that benefits the agency and our country and the world as a whole.
Well, while we have you, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you ended up working at NASA.
Well, let's see. I'm a physics major. I went to a small university in Florida, and I was given an opportunity to hire directly into NASA almost 30 years ago now. And I remember the phone call. It came while I was about to deliver a pizza to a table at a pizza place. And it was an easy decision when he said, "Do you want to come work here?" And I had that pizza, and I said, yes. And so I was here within about a month, and I had a job here. And I've been working here and have never had a dull moment.
Well, great. It's fascinating stuff what you guys have done. Congratulations on a great project, and hopefully things will continue smoothly. You're going to wrap it up next week, and it sounds like more to come. So thanks so much for joining us and sharing with us a little bit about the background about this big task. Again, it's a big accomplishment for the whole team. So thank you so much for joining us, Penny.
Thank you.